Okay, well, good evening, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to the call for tonight. And we are in session number 3 of our series, in our traffic training series. We are in the intensive phase, and obviously, what we're going to be doing in the near future is we're going to be moving to a weekly format. But what we're trying to do is to really get you up to speed in terms of building your foundation for traffic. And of course, there are lots of loopholes and lots of ways for you to be able to get traffic. We're not going to be teaching loopholes. We're going to be talking about the things you're going to be doing to build your business. Loopholes, you can always get a good WSO, an information product. You can make those things work, and they are fantastic. They do work. However, in terms of building the kind of traffic that you're going to have, where you have a steady stream of traffic for your business on the ongoing basis, that's what we're going to be talking about here in these sessions. And you are going to be able to use them, because once you learn how to do this, then you'll be able to do this in any market, in any niche, if you kind of pick up on the things I'm going to be talking about here in the traffic section. So thus far, what I like to do is I like to ask if there are any questions. Okay, any questions on anything that I have touched on so far? Anything that you might have a question about that I've talked about in the past webinar? Hello, Vern. How are you? And if you have any questions, please feel free to type them there in the box, and I will do the best I can to answer it. Now, this is really the PLR show, and what we've done is, just for this week, we're gonna be talking about traffic. So the reason that we're not talking about PLR, we might talk about it a little bit, is we want to finish the series on traffic until Thursday, and then Thursday, that'll be the last daily session until we move to weekly. Okay, so this is going to be, again, traffic training session 3. We're going to be talking about free traffic and what you can be doing to get traffic to your offers and to your business. So what do we mean by free traffic? Good evening, Donna. And what do we mean by free traffic? Well, we're talking about the kind of free traffic that you're going to be using in order to get people into the top of your marketing funnel. So in other words, what do I do to get people who don't know me, who may or may not be interested in what I have to offer? How do I get them to start listening to me and eventually get them into my marketing list, right? So that's the top of the funnel to me. So how do you get somebody who doesn't know you, right, may or may not have an interest in you, and get them onto your email marketing list? And you will eventually be able to sell those people. Maybe you might even be able to send them to a sales page, right? But we want to be able to figure out how we can get people who have no idea we exist into an opt-in list or into a marketing funnel. And we're going to do that by doing what we call free traffic. Now, free traffic isn't really free. It just means that we don't pay for it up front. Now, when we're paying for free traffic, it's called earned traffic, really, right? So we're doing the work instead of paying for it. We're going to be talking about paid traffic on Thursday, but for free traffic, we could really call it earned traffic instead of free. So it's not really free per se. You're going to pay for it with your time and with your sweat equity, your virtual sweat equity. Okay, so one of the first things we got to do in order to get free traffic is we got to decide on a market and decide on a niche. Decide on a market. I'm going to back up some. I want you to decide on a market and decide on a niche. And and the reason that you have to do this is you're going to have to be targeted in the way that you start communicating with people. And the only way that you're going to be able to do that is you decide on a market and a niche. If you are going to be in the make money online market, and then you're going to narrow it down to the niche of CPA marketers, you want to sell them instruction on how to do CPA, then you need to focus on that, right? Because that needs to be your goal. That needs to be the way that you've decided. So we have to decide if we're going to sell information products. We're going to get traffic to our offers. We have to decide on a market or a niche. if we're going to sell to other people who want to make money online, and we want to sell to new internet marketers, and a lot of people sell to new internet marketers, that's a pretty big niche, right? But a lot of people do it, and the reason they do it is because it is successful, and there are people who enter into internet marketing every day, and they're going to be an increasing number of people to do so. And so selling to new information marketers, selling to new internet marketers means then that, you're trying to find people who are trying to find their way, and you're going to talk to them in a certain way, and you're going to focus on them making sure that they get what they need in order to find their way into internet marketing. Now, when you do that, you have to decide where you fit amongst the competition, right? And in some cases, we don't think about competition. I understand that, and I understand that you don't want to think about limiting beliefs. That's true. But when I talk about a unique selling proposition, right, I want to make sure that I'm offering something that someone can't get anyplace else. And so in order to do that, I kind of need to know where everybody else is. If somebody else is really the guru, right, they're really the big cheese when it comes to Facebook ads, I don't want to enter into that market unless I'm doing something that's so totally radically different and unique and getting such fantastic results that I want to go head to head, or I want to go into the market trying to convince people to come and be on my marketing funnel when, they're sort of already listening to a certain number of people who are there. So decide on where you fit amongst the competition once you decided on a market and a niche. And yeah, you want to decide on a unique position. The other, I think it's Ryan Dice calls this, decide on an avatar. In other words, who are you going to be in the marketplace? Are you going to be the person who's kind of discovering and learning new things and getting new results? Are you going to be the person who has experienced everything? Are you going to be the person who kind of knows how to work with small businesses? Are you going to be the person who can get great results in a day? Decide on a unique position. Decide on who you are in the marketplace. The other thing is, now this is going to be the tricky thing, but you do have to do this. And one of the reasons why I'm going to just tell you that you need to decide on a market and a niche is because I am not an advocate of don't buy anything, right? I'm going to get off of all the marketers' lists. I don't believe that, right? I don't think you can be successful in internet marketing by getting off of everybody's list. That's not really the point. You might need to discipline yourself. And one of the ways you discipline yourself is that you start buying products according to your unique position, but you want to buy things with the mindset of somebody who's going to be creating products, right? You're not buying things with the idea that I'm going to buy this thing, it's going to make me rich. I'm going to buy this thing, it's going to give me something new to focus on. I'm going to buy this because I'm enticed by it. In fact, sometimes you're going to buy a competitor product, and you're going to buy it with the intention that you're just going to see what's in it. You might not even be looking to try to implement what they say. You might be looking to get it because you're in that niche. You're going to compete in that niche. When you buy competitor products, right? And again, you want to buy as many as you can. You need to know what your competitor is offering. And again, I don't think you ought to live here where you're doing something just because someone else does it, but you need to know what people are selling and what's actually getting people excited enough to buy, right? So I suggest you buy your competitors' products, as many as you can. And you do that according to the unique position you've decided. Not everybody's product is going to be a good one to buy if you're going to be looking at it to try to figure out what you want to do, okay? Start buying and reading books in your area of expertise. I realize that's a dirty word, but these days you can do that in audible.com. If you don't like reading books, you can listen to them on audible.com. I think a subscription is something like $15 a month. They give you 2 books every month, and you can listen to them. And even if you didn't do that, if you live in the United States, right, most public libraries have audio books you can get for free, right? You can rent them. So even if you don't want to do Audible, go and get some reading books in your area of expertise and start listening. And again, don't go get everything. Go and get books in the area that you've decided on. You have to decide on the market and the niche, right? And then you've got to buy everything that there is, and then you've got to read everything that there is, right? If you're gonna do Facebook ads, right? If you're going to teach other people how to do Facebook ads, you need to know everything there is to know. You need to have covered everything there is to cover. Now, I'm going to say that you should be attending webinars according to your unique position. So in other words, if somebody's doing a webinar and your niche is, I don't know, let's say you're doing offline marketing and you're learning how to sell to automobile dealers, right? There are at least 2 people in the offline space. That's all they teach on. And when they do free webinars, you'd have to be on them. You should be on them. So what I'm saying is that you decide on the market and the niche and you're learning everything there is to learn. Now, again, I understand that not all of that information is going to make you rich. That's not the point of doing all this research. The point of doing all this research is not that it's going to do magic for you. And again, I've heard that, well, you know what? I don't read anything. And all I do is I take action. That's cool, right? But when I buy your product, or when you create the product, or when you start creating content, you're going to find it's going to be a lot easier when you know something. Right? When you've studied it, when you know the ins and outs, when you know the research on it, right? So again, when you're doing this research, you're getting this information. It's not going to make you rich, but you will be able to create great products. Okay. And then what you're going to do is you should be seeking to get your own results and teach all the new concepts that you learn. Now, again, I'm going to tell you why that matters here in a minute. And then lastly, and I have your is spelled wrong. You want to figure out what you're learning to implement, right? Or what you're learning to become an expert in. So in other words, there's certain products and certain methods you're going to learn in order to become an expert in, and certain products you're going to buy in order for you to implement in your own business. And in some cases, that's going to be both. Now, here's what we're trying to do with free traffic. We're earned traffic. We're trying to get that cold, unknown traffic into the top of our marketing funnel. We're trying to get them to opt into our list. I'm not talking about at this point, right? At this point, I'm not talking about selling to them. I'm just talking about how do we get these people that don't know us into the top of our marketing funnel, getting them to opt in, right? So the first thing you're going to have to do, you got to get your email list set up. So if you have an autoresponder, if you have and it's not ready to start receiving people, if you don't have an opt-in form ready, then you've got to get that set up tonight. Right, that's first thing. The first thing you've got to do is you've got to get your email list set up so that you can start getting people onto your list. Now, I know a number of you already have that done. That's ready, right? If you're one of those people and you have your list ready, I want you to put the number 1 in the question box. Please put the number 1 in the question box. If your opt-in form is done, it's ready to start receiving visitors right now, right? That's got to be first. You got to get your email list set up. It's got to be ready to start receiving people onto your list, right? In order for you to start benefiting from free traffic, it's ready, right? It should be ready to go, and you should be ready to get people to opt in. Secondly, you got to find out where your buyers are hanging out. Now, I'm not talking about, and again, now if you're selling to other internet marketers, fine, right? Then you can hang out with other internet marketers. You can be in Skype groups with other internet marketers. But I'm telling you, you need to be wherever your buyers are hanging out. Who's going to want your products and services? You got to be hanging out with them, right? Not with other internet marketers. Hanging out with other internet marketers can only take you so far, and you'll probably end up buying more in areas that you don't necessarily want to buy in. That's really what happens to most internet marketers. We do the opposite. We don't hang out where the buyers hang out. We hang out where the sellers hang out, right? How many of you all hang out? And again, I'm guilty of this myself, right? I'm guilty of this. I'll admit this. I hang out a lot with people who sell stuff to me. I don't necessarily do as much as I'd like to, although I am learning to do this and be very good at it and very disciplined at it. Right? How many of you find yourself hanging out where people are willing to sell things to you, but you're not doing as much hanging out where people buy things from you, right? You got to find out where your buyers are hanging out, and you've got to do what it takes to find. Are they hanging out on Pinterest? Are your buyers on Twitter? Are they in a LinkedIn group? Are they reading LinkedIn posts? Are they reading Facebook posts? Are they joining Facebook groups? You got to find them, right? You got to find them. Where are they hanging out in the online forum? You got to find them, right? Find out where your buyers are hanging out and hang out there, right? Be where your buyers are, because you need to hear the problems that they're expressing in their own language. Most of us don't do that. And you've got to get good and disciplined at hanging out where your buyers are hanging out. And again, this is really kind of going to kind of be the key of turning on traffic whenever you want it. Now, you got to find out where their pain points are. You've got to find out where their pain points are. So in other words, you're hanging out where these buyers are. You're finding out where what are their pain points? What are they trying to solve? Remember, you've already picked a market. You've already figured out what it is that they're trying to do. Now, what are their pain points? And then, of course, and again, I realize that this is kind of a big jump, but this is where our marketing comes in. Okay, we need to start attracting them then into our marketing funnel. We build relationships and then we start selling. Okay, so that's sort of that. But we're talking about free traffic tonight, and we're talking about how to get that cold, unknown traffic into the top of our marketing funnel. Okay, so if you're with me so far, please put the number 2 in the question box. If you've understood everything I've said and you don't have questions, please put the number 2 in the question box. Right? If you understand pretty much what I've said here, please put the number 2 in the question box. Okay. Okay, now. Okay, now the other day we talked about getting free traffic from creating products. And again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. I've talked about this in the last couple of webinars. We talked about building your list by creating information products. Does everybody remember that? So in other words, you create a product, and every time you sell one, that person is added to your mailing list. You can actually put that person on your email marketing list. So you create products, right? How many of you all realize that you create products to generate leads, not just to make money, right? You create products, listen to me now, and make sure you get this. Make sure you get this. You create products, information products, to build your list, right? A lot of people will say that they want to build a list so they can create products, and it's really the other way around. You create products so you can build your list, right? Because everyone that becomes a buyer, you add them to your list. Okay, what you've got to do, you and I have to do, right? At some way, right? We've got to get into production mode. We got to get into production mode and get good at creating something that we can use as bait in order to get people so we can opt into the list. Now, we've talked about taking our products and going where the traffic is, right? Going where the traffic is. We've talked about the fact that you can create a course on udemy.com, right? You can attract people that are interested in a certain subject by creating a course and putting it on udemy.com. We've talked about the fact that you can create courses for JVZoo and Warrior Plus. We've even shown you how to use Warrior Plus so that if you're into the internet marketing niche, what you can do is you can actually attract people who are going to be interested in your market or niche, right? We talked about Amazon Kindle, Audible, iBooks, and iTunes. Now, again, don't get intimidated by creating a Kindle book. You can create a Kindle short. You can create an Audible book short. When you create something on Audible, it's going to go to iTunes. And so, and again, for those of you who are just kind of wondering, well, I don't want to be in the make money online niche. How am I going to do this? Well, udemy.com, Amazon Kindle, Audible, and iTunes, none of those are directly just directly related to the internet marketing niche. Right? You don't have to be in the internet marketing niche in order to create a product that will attract somebody into your marketing funnel. Okay, is everybody with me so far? If you're with me so far, put the number 3 in the question box. So far, you with me so far and you don't have any questions. We talked about the other day, we showed you how to create digital products and put them on eBay. Now, again, I want to go back to this, and I want to say this to you right now. Now you got to get good at creating some products, and you got to get good at being in production mode, right? Being in production mode. In other words, if you're going to create Kindle books and build your list that way, then get into production mode for Kindle, right? You got to put your factory together in order to get a Kindle book after Kindle book after Kindle book after Kindle book after Kindle book. Now, I'm not saying that you don't ever do udemy.com. I'm saying you got to get something moving, and one of the ways you get something moving is to get in production mode. Get good at one of these things. Get good at getting your product on JVZoo and get in production mode, or get onto Warrior Plus and get into production mode, product after product after product. Those of you who have been on my calls, you know I talk a lot about the product snowball, right? Especially if you're new, right? Again, you're building your list with your product, not because you have a product, okay? And again, now with product-based traffic, here's how you want to look at this, right? When I put a product and somebody buys that product, and that person that buys the product becomes part of my email marketing list, what have I been doing? I just got paid to create a lead, right? With product-based traffic, you get paid to create leads. Okay, now, here's something that I really had to learn. I think I talked about this on the last call. And we're gonna move on from product-based traffic. And again, I know I like product-based traffic because that's what I do. When you give affiliates 50 to 100% commissions, what you're doing is you're using your product to generate leads and build your list, right? Now, I'm not saying you won't make money. I'm saying that when you have a great product and you have a great product that converts, you will eventually be able to build relationships with affiliates, and they will promote your product. And you will typically give them 75 to 100% commissions. Why? Because when they bring you a customer, what are they doing? They're building your list, right? So don't miss this, right? One of the ways you're going to get traffic by creating products is to get affiliates to promote it. Now, you need to make sure you've got a great product that affiliates are going to want to promote. Now, if you go out and you get a copywriter to write your sales letter, right? The way you look at that investment, right? You might say, well, man, I got a copywriter to do this. And if I give up 100% commissions, I might not get my investment back. The point is not for you to get your investment back so that you get paid. The point is for you to generate leads. And if you pay for a copywriter, and that copywriter ends up getting you more sales, and those sales end up bringing you more people, more affiliates that will promote your product, and you get even more sales, those people are going to end up on your email marketing list where you can actually sell them other products and services. How many of you all know what I'm talking about? So if you understand that, okay, then we can move on. Okay, now, so that's product-based traffic. Now, I want to talk about content-based traffic. We're still talking about free traffic. We're still talking about how we get those people into the top of our marketing funnel, right? So one of the things you got to try to figure out, right, is what is your buyer like, right? Do they like to watch videos? and you whatever it is that they like, get good at creating one kind of content. And notice I've got a theme here when I go through this. Just get good at creating one kind of content. Okay, if you want to get good at doing audio, I'm not saying you got to do everything all at once. When you get started, right, you're trying to get people and attract new people into your marketing funnel. Cold people into your marketing list. Start doing audio. You can do a podcast. You can do blog talk radio. Again, you've already decided on a niche. Now, none of this is relevant, right? None of this is relevant if you haven't picked a niche. None of this is relevant if you haven't picked a market. And I said decide on one. I didn't say find the perfect one, right? Decide on one. And then start creating great content. Start creating videos, right? Get good at creating videos. Now, again, if you're going to start creating videos, get in production mode by creating videos. Don't try to do a podcast and blog talk radio show and YouTube, right? When you're just getting started, get good at creating videos or get good at creating audios, get good at writing Kindle books or blogging, get good at creating infographics or images. Pick one. Right? I'm not saying pick all of them, pick one of them and get good at it. Right? You're trying to get people to read your content, to experience it, and then want to go to your email marketing list in order to opt in. And so you got to pick something. Right? Again, you're gonna be tempted to try to start getting into SEO and all this other stuff. Look, worry about creating great content according to the pain points that your buyer is going to be wanting to consume. Of course, everybody already has this. I know you already have this. Now, here's what most people do, and is that they start sharing on social media. They start sharing their link. They start sharing their offer, right? They start sharing their stuff, but what they haven't done is they don't really have anything to share. If you listen, if you don't have any content, right? If you don't really have anything, right? You really do need to have something to share, right? That's where your audio, your video, your written stuff comes in, your visual stuff. Share content on your social media file. And again, it doesn't matter which one, right? If you want to get good at Facebook or LinkedIn or Pinterest, get good at one of them in connecting with buyers and influence. Okay, share your content on a regular and consistent basis. As regular as you create it, start sharing it consistently. And when you're doing this, you're always moving people onto your email marketing list. Okay, and you're going to do that with more contact for you and your offerings. Okay, now, okay, what should your content be? Right? What should be in your content? What should you be writing about? What should you be blogging about? Right? What should you be doing videos about? Okay, what should you be talking about? Now, what I suggest you do, right, whenever you can, always, and this was talked about at the Traffic and Conversion Summit for this year, is you want to lead with your results, right? If you ever taken the 30-day challenge, I talk about this, right? Those of you who have the 30-day challenge, you'll maybe hear in the first couple of episodes that I talk about the fact that you want to get results, right? The easiest way to sell an information product, the easiest way to get people to opt into your list is to attract them through results, right? So really, your content can teach people something. Yes, I agree with that. But you teach people best with results. So in other words, what do I mean? I mean, what you want to do is you want to lead with real data. What do I mean by that? Right? What do I mean by real data? What did you learn when you got out there and you tried something? Right? You actually tried something and you got some observations. You actually tried to do Facebook ads, let's say on, I don't know, on Walmart products. And you have real data. You know what works and what doesn't work. You know what it took in order to get results. You went through the tests, you lost money, and you started making money. You go with real data. Why is that? That's because that's going to be much more interesting and attractive than someone who's just trying to teach something, right? Demonstrations with real results. Your content should be about solving problems and pain points. What does your market say their problem is? And are you solving their pain points? Google Trends will tell you what some people's pain points are. Online forums where people are hanging out. Social media groups, Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups, other groups, and Google Plus groups. They're talking about real problems that, again, will take your solutions. And I would suggest, right, when you get inside of these groups, right, you get inside of these groups, don't talk initially. And I know I say that a lot, that God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. That's for a reason, right? Typically, it's because we need to listen. And I know that the advice is that you want to go in and you want to position yourself to be an expert, but not right away. Listen. When you get inside of a group, listen to what's happening. Listen to the dialogue. See what people are saying in their own words. Understand it so that this is what you're going to be using to create your opt-in product. This is what you're going to be using to create your bribe. This is what you're going to be using to create your products. Listen. Don't get in and just start talking Watch the conversations. See what people are really struggling with. Now, if you're hanging out where your buyers are, you're going to get a lot of good information. Now, if you're hanging out where other people are just like you're not going to get good information, right? Again, hang out where the people are going to be where they're actually likely to become your buyer. That might be someplace totally different than hanging out with people just like you. Right? It's easy to hang out in the internet marketing forum. We can kind of talk and commiserate. We can talk about something new that happened with the Google algorithm, and all that stuff is cool. But you don't benefit by hanging out with me. You benefit by hanging out with your customer, right? With your customer, hanging out online and listening to your customer. Now, and don't forget about offline. I always have to throw that in there because they've got real problems too. And they also are looking for solutions. Okay. And I also suggest that you take a look at Amazon Kindle. And in particular, right? What do the reviews say? What do the comments say? What are people saying about the top selling book? What are the things that are missing? What do they wish people talked about? So sometimes when people do a review, they'll say, hey, this is a great book, but I really wish they would have talked about, I don't know, about the effects of running, right, on the body, whatever the case is. So Amazon Kindle, read the reviews and the comments. Why not read the reviews and comments on regular books? We're talking about, again, people that are going to be likely to buy digital products. So I like reading Amazon Kindle. I don't like reading the commentary on books that are, I'd say, that are for people who like physical books. It's not that I have an aversion to them. It's just that I'd rather read about people who are going to buy information products. Okay, now. Okay, so I realize that we haven't touched on a specific traffic methodology yet, right? Now, yesterday I did a little bit, but for the most part, what we want to start thinking about, I'm moving from the general to the specific in this traffic training. I'm going to be doing one more session on free traffic. Then on Thursday, God willing, I'll be doing paid traffic. And then after that, I'll be doing one new method, right, per week. So I'll show you be doing a different method for 30 minutes on Thursdays, I believe, per week. But while you're doing that, you can take what I just told you and apply it. If you can apply the things that I just talked about, right, and start being consistent with your content, and you can't be consistent with your content, right, until you are consistent with your research. And this is where most of us don't do a great job, right? It's a discipline, right? And I don't want to make it into something harder than it is, but really, when you go to your email box, you're going to see things that are going to be attractive to you. However, you've got to make the effort to read, research, buy everything that's consistent with your market, consistent with your niche, consistent with figuring out what it is that you are going to produce. Right now, once again, what we've been talking about today is how to get cold traffic into the top of your funnel. Right now, what I'm going to be teaching next time, right, with part 2 of free traffic, I'm going to talk to you about the authority model, right, of using content marketing, the authority model, right? And the authority model is something that anybody can do in order to start attracting traffic into the top of your marketing. I don't care what color you are. I don't care how old you are. I don't care if you're good looking or if you got a face made for radio. Everybody can do the authority model, right? Everybody on this call can do the authority model. And I'm going to show you what that is. And for some of you, and you may be struggling to start building your list and create products and to start creating things to attract people in your marketing funnel. You are not going to be so on Thursday. I'm sorry, on tomorrow, right? Because I'm going to teach you how to do the authority model. All right. When you understand how to do the authority model, right, in your content, whether you're a podcaster, whether you're a blogger, whether you are a video creator, doesn't really matter. You can do the authority model. You can do that, right? You can do that successfully. Everybody on this call can. That's what we're going to be talking about here on tomorrow. Now, one of the things I want to make sure that you know is that I extended the Leap Day promotion. I mean, if you still want to get it, all products and all funnels, right, for our products are 29% off. And you can get them by using the code LEAP2016. If you go to the plrshow.com/leap-day, you can get any of our products in any of the funnels for tonight until midnight, right? I tried to cut it off last night. I got a few people to say, you know, we didn't see the webinar. It's not really fair, that kind of thing. So, so it's available tonight until midnight Eastern Standard Time. Okay, so any of our products, all funnels, 29% off. Use the code LEAP2016, including the 30-day challenge, right? Until midnight EST, as well as the 30-day challenge, which you can get at superfastactionbonus.com/30-day. Use the code LEAP16. And again, all of our products are at the plrshow.com/leap-day. Any questions? Any questions about free traffic? We're going to talk about on Thursday or tomorrow. We're going to talk about the rest of the free traffic model. We're going to be talking about the authority model. Then on Thursday, we're going to talk about paid traffic. And then after that, every week, we're going to cover one new traffic method for these traffic training calls. Any questions? Any questions on traffic, free traffic? Okay, well, if there are no questions, okay, so tomorrow night we're going to cover, and again, well, Donna, you don't have to set up. There are two ways to look at this. You can set up a few canned emails. In other words, you might set up an email that says, you know, welcome, you know, and talk about who you are and that kind of thing. I don't think I would do a canned email, right? Especially if my list was new. I would write those emails from scratch. And I understand emails take a long time to write, but it's always worth it to sit down and write those emails and make a personal connection. Right now, if you've read the book .com Secrets by Russell Brunson, one of the things you're going to be doing right there at the start is you're going to be creating what I think is a relationship with your buyers right away. And the way that you do that is you want to try to avoid the canned email. So I would say, when I say get your email list set up, I would say so that it's ready to get a visitor. That visitor should get a general email. Thanks for joining my list. Here's who I am. Here's what you can expect. And then that's it. Now I've experimented with this, and I've experimented with having a series of 10 emails, right? And eventually introducing them. Now, one way to do that, how many of you all know about email automation, right? If you know about email automation, here's what you can do, right? Here's what you can do. You can have everybody on one list that comes in through a certain way to get canned emails. Maybe you have 10 pre-planned emails. And then when you use email automation, what you do is when somebody buys your product, they get placed on a specific list, and then they get automatically, you can do this in Aweber and GetResponse and some of the others, you can have that person automatically taken off the prospect list when they buy. Now that's risky. The reason is because if I use two different email addresses, and some of you do, some of I do, right? Some of you all use 2 or 3 different email addresses, and what happens is you might buy something with this product and you don't get taken off the prospect list. So even email automation is not foolproof unless the person uses the same email all the time, which is not necessarily realistic. But you can do email automation where you use some canned emails, have that person taken off your email list automatically when they buy something, and have them then placed on then the list where you're actually mailing that broadcast email every day. Okay, great question. Any other questions? Good question, Donna. Okay, it's about 9:43 Eastern Standard Time. I've got time for a couple more questions, if you have them, right, on anything that we talked about here today. And as I said, on Thursday, tomorrow, we'll be talking about part 2 of paid traffic. Yeah, it can be used as a shopping cart if you don't have one. So can you collect payments and deliver the product? Yes, that is really what it's for. Yep, absolutely. So what you're doing is you're delivering the product using GMP, and you're collecting payment, and you're automatically delivering that product. That is really what it's for. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Okay, great question, Nigel. All right, any other questions? Okay, any other questions? Well, okay, we are approaching 9:45. And as always, I certainly appreciate you all being here. Yeah, Patricia, as always, there will be a replay on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/gain mindshare. Absolutely. Okay, and so the code again is LEAP 2016. Okay, for any of all products, all funnels. For today, I'm going to be taking off out of here, and hope that this has been helpful for you. And thanks very much, everybody. I will see you, those of you who will be here, I'll see you tomorrow night. We'll be talking about more free traffic. Okay, so with that, thanks. Have a great night. Pleasant tomorrow. Take care.